So what does recursive function means is calling the same function within its function body itself. So create this recursive call stack of the same function over and over again. Right here, I'm making a function called recursive circle and give it a parameter of x, y, position, and diameter, and just passing the same parameters to circles. And by calling this in the setup, we'll have a circle on our canvas. So what will happen if we call itself recursive function within recursive function and give it the same parameter x, y, and d? If I run this, will be thrown an error called maximum call stack size exceeded. It is because we didn't set a stop condition for this recursive call, that it's going on and on forever. It's like creating too much function and breaking the program. So what we need to do is give it a condition to stop. We can say if count is greater than 10, then return the number of times this function is being called is greater than 10. It will stop calling this again. So let's create a variable to keep track of this number, count equals 0. And every time we call this function, we iterate and add 1 to the count. But if I run this, you can see we are only seeing 1 circles on the screen, because we are calling the function with the same parameters over and over again. So what you can do is you can create some variations, like every time you call the function, if we halve the diameter, we can see that we have a bunch of circles now. Every circle is half the diameter from its parent. So when it reaches this line of code, it calls recursive function with a diameter of 200, and then it draws a circle with a diameter of 200. But the next time it calls the same function, the diameter is halved. So the new parameter, the new argument passed in this function will be half the parent's diameter. So the d will be 100. And the next time it's halved again. So we get a recursive effect of drawing smaller and smaller circles. We can replace this with if diameter is smaller than 10, then we stop the execution. This time we're seeing only 5 circles because the 6th time the function is called, the diameter is already smaller than 10. The recursive functions is to change the way you pass parameters from the parents to the child. If you change x plus d divided by 2, every time you draw a circle, it's shifted slightly towards the right, and we get circles shifting right. And there's something more interesting. You can call the same function twice. If we copy this line and call the same function, so with one call of recursive circle, it will create 2 more recursive calls within it. So this is the original call of recursive circle, and it calls 2 more recursive circles, and each of them calls 2 more, go on and on until for each of the call, the diameter of the circle is smaller than 5. This way we are not limited by how many circles we can draw, but we're using the condition of the diameter to control when should we stop the recursive calls. So for these 2 different calls, I'll change the arguments a little bit. So it's like shifting to the right, one shifting to the left. You can see we have loads more circles than we had before just by adding 1 more line. But this way the number of circles and the number of times you call the function is growing exponentially. And we can even call this 2 more times and adding variation not on the x-axis but on the y-axis. So y plus diameter divided by 2 and y minus diameter divided by 2. Now we can see the number of circles just grown again, and we are seeing a rectangular kind of pattern. Just some interesting pattern is starting to emerge.